So,
Good evening, good morning, good day to all of you who are watching this very unique interview. Um, we have with us a wonderful personality, Jeshad Marker, and I can assure you that this interview is going to be a lovely interaction which will help you to understand something that even I'm looking forward to. And let me welcome you, Jeshad. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mayur. How are you? Thank you for having me here on this interview.
Yes, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to this beautiful process of listening and
Right,
speaking. Um, let's straight away get into this interview, this
sure.
interaction,
Right,
with my first question.
right,
I mean, you know what? I know you a little bit, but our viewers would love to know a little bit more about you,
right,
and we'd like to know a little bit about who you are, what makes who you are, and how you've sort of come into this particular realm of what you
right,
do.
right. So, giving you a brief background about myself, I was basically born and brought up in Mumbai. Education qualifications, I have done my BMS, which is Bachelor in Management Studies from R.A. Podar College, Mumbai University. Apart from my strong academic achievements and certain recognitions, I basically believe I'm a dedicated individual committed to my work, value integrity, have a rational approach towards life. Numerology as a subject or numerology as a topic is something, as a career rather, is something I am excited to be associated with and also very happy to be associated with.
Good.
Uh,
Great.
Great. Yeah, further, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to, in fact, just add a little bit of my curiosity. You know, you
Right,
mentioned numerology, right? Apart
right,
from describing yourself, I wanted to know a couple of things. Um, how did you get
right,
into this? How did you get into this? And if you can also get into what is numerology?
right, right. My journey in numerology started in late 2019 when I learned numerology from the World School of Numerology. And right now, I operate under the brand which is GXM Numerology Consultation and Education. Basically, on the backdrop of certain challenging years, I went into numerology to find answers for myself. Having learned numerology, I applied the subject to me, and it turned out very positive. It gave me results, which then resulted in me starting consulting and teaching in numerology. And let me tell you, in the last 1 year, I have been nothing but happy because I have been able to help clients develop a new perspective towards life and help people from various backgrounds and various cultures.
What is numerology? Like for a person like me who doesn't really understand
Right,
the specifics of it.
right. Numerology, simply put, is the scientific language of numbers which expands the horizons of the mind. It's basically a science which has been discovered by the Chaldeans. Chaldeans were people in Chaldea, which is ancient Babylon today. There are various methods to numerology, such as Chaldean numerology, Pythagorean numerology, there's Indian or Vedic numerology, Kabbalah numerology. Initially, as numerology was discovered by the Chaldeans, it went to the Western countries and got refined as Pythagorean numerology after the contribution of Pythagoras. Getting into what exactly numerology is, let me tell you that before relativity was discovered, people believed in absolutes. Once relativity came into practice, it gave rise to new ideas, new concepts, new relationships. Same thing, what numerology does, it basically gives abstract feature to an intangible thing. Now, what do I mean to say by that? Say the trait of independence in you is denoted by number one, which itself makes the trait more understandable, more objective in what I'm trying to say. Having said that, numerology, however, cannot cater to the vast ambiguity of this beautiful world. So this is a gist of what numerology is exactly.
That's great. That's interesting. I have to say that it's a subject which definitely requires a lot of study. It's
Right,
not just ये नंबरों का खेल नहीं है. There's a lot of
right,
depth, and I
right,
have to say it's
definitely,
very, very interesting, very informative, very exciting
right,
that you brought in the history behind the numerology.
right,
I have a
right,
couple of more questions. Uh,
sure,
Typically, which would come from me or any viewer,
right,
is what could be the things that could be, that can come out of numerology. Like if I go to you, if I come to you,
right,
what can I expect from you with respect to numerology? How can it, you know
right, right.
help me, specifically speaking? Maybe two or three things you can share.
Right. So, numerology is a vast subject, and what it can tell you is, in brief, I will be explaining to you. So you can decode the digits of your life by understanding your birth number and destiny number, which are the two main numbers in anyone's numerology profile. Further to that, it can tell you about your life's purpose, your heart's desire, your personality. It can also get into things like your karmic number. What are the karmic burdens you're carrying of the past? If you're between 30 to 40, it can tell you your midlife power number, which will give you a boost.
Mhm.
uh, Further to that, it could also tell you things like the key phases in your life through numerology, pinnacles and challenges, and when would you be peaking at those. It can also help you with your number compatibility. One of the main aspects in numerology, which is name change analysis. When I say name change analysis, I mean both personal name as well as business name. So basically, trying to understand the name vibes and how you can change. Because let me tell you here, birth date is something with which you are born with, but birth name is something which you can tweak in order to sort of capitalize on the good luck factor which numerology plays on. uh, Further, it can tell you what a personal year or a personal month would mean to you. So if you are in 2021, what would 2021 mean to Mayur? What would say 2021 August mean to Mayur? Uh, uh, Another aspect it can tell you is about basically individual numbers associated as behavior of parents, individual number meaning which is associated with car registration, property selection. uh, Tell you things such as your lucky days, dates, time periods, your relationship compatibility, your health factors, your financial factors. So these are a lot of things which numerology can tell you. Yeah,
I have to ask you this question. If you can give me a quick answer.
sure.
I used to know numerology with respect to not numerology, but we used to always be told 13 is a unlucky number or 13 is a lucky number. Like I'm born on 13th of Feb. It's
Right,
lucky for me. So
right.
is that part of numerology, that there are some numbers which are very lucky or unlucky, and some that way? You know where I'm coming from? These
Ye-
are very colloquial things, which we
Yes,
hear about.
yes. So that
What's your take on that?
yeah, so there is some truthness to what you are saying. As you are born on 13th of Feb, I am born on 13th of August. So I too am a number 13, which basically sums up to a 4. Now, yes, to an extent, we do say that number 13, which leads to number 4, is sometimes unlucky for many people. But of course, being our birth number, it would be lucky for us. However, there are steps and there are remedies for unlucky numbers. So it's not that one number has only cons. All the
Yeah,
numbers have pros and cons. Certain numbers may have more pros than cons. So yeah, that's how it basically
interesting.
works. Right.
So a sort of a extended question to this, but something more practical from the viewer's point of view will be,
Sure.
um, what kind of queries do they come with? Like, what do they look forward to? Do
Right.
they ask about, I'm talking about very practical stuff, especially in today's situation with the pandemic,
right,
people are not really, things have affected all of us in different ways, and not
right,
everything has been positive.
right.
So, how can numerology help, or what questions typically people come to you?
Right. So let me tell you, in this challenging scenario, as the way the world is moving, today's clients are looking out for advice which is professional, as well as which provides more value add, which then means that it's a challenge for me to deliver the goods in the short term as well as the long term.
Hmm.
Though my skill sets and strengths would assist me, empower me, motivate me to become a professional numerologist in the future.
Hmm.
Numerology as a science can give you an holistic insight into various things, but typically clients come to me with things like personality evaluation basis certain numbers, your numerology pinnacles and challenges, again the name change analysis part, which is your birth, your basically your personal as well as business name. uh, they also come to me typically with queries related to relationship compatibility, career aspects, financial aspects, and health aspects. So these are some of the major queries with which clients come up. Right,
In fact, the reason I'm putting this across to you is because as I was understanding what you do, I mean, I was
right,
doing a little bit of my own homework to know, when I conduct an interview, it's important to also
right,
understand a little bit.
right,
Um, See, I've looked at numerology in terms of how it could help me or anybody. Is one is from the external aspect, which is about your studies for a student, could be
right,
business, could
right,
be a work-related career. But what about the internal aspect? Like, does numerology also help somebody with, say, uh, stress issues, depression, um, maybe fear, loss of confidence, the emotional aspects. Somebody may have, God forbid, been through a very hellish time personally,
right.
and he wants to come out of it. Do you think a person like you could, help the person?
Yes, definitely. What if a person is facing a certain challenging period, it will show up in his numbers, in his numerology chart, in his numerology profile. After which, from my end, my job would be to guide the individual and give certain recommendations. Once I do that as a guiding tool, how the client uses it, it could definitely help him in overcoming either emotional issues, financial issues, health issues, anything it could be. So that shows up, and then we can
Sure,
guide
sure,
accordingly.
that's great.
Right, right,
I think that's a fair point. I mean, I understand where you come from. It's important to, teach somebody how to swim. You can't
right,
swim for the person. You have to
right,
teach the techniques, or for a doctor who prescribe the medicine. So you are there to help out, to give your analysis,
right, right,
and to suggest A, B, C, D things.
right.
And then it's up to the person how he takes it or she
How
takes it forward. I
how
think
he
that's a
takes
fair
it.
point.
That's right.
Hey, I have a different question for you.
Right.
Uh, yeah. This question is probably a little more, mystical.
Right.
The question is numerology a miracle, or is it a mystery, or is it something else? Is it something that brings a miracle into a person's life, or is it something to do with mystery, stuff like that? What do you
Right.
think?
Right.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, sure. So let me start off by saying that this universal consciousness has tremendous cosmic energy. When our
Hmm.
mind is in line with this cosmic energy, we enjoy some of it. Uh, lot
Hmm.
of this lot of this cosmic energy in turn, which is part of us, gives out certain radiations and waves.
Okay.
Let me tell you that each person's life as soon as he's born is governed by certain planets,
Hmm.
and these planets are then allotted certain numbers, which means that the numbers then give out those radiations and waves.
Wow.
Right,
Wow.
right. So when the numbers are giving out the certain vibrations, we can decipher and say that okay, A is different from B in this manner, and the numbers are speaking of A, uh, something like this, and for B something like this. So it's very simple. Numerology is based in a structured system. It's no rocket science. Then I would say that it's not like a miracle or a mystery. It's based on certain rules and principles.
That's nice. Uh,
Right.
I remember, when we talk about
Right,
stuff for like astrology,
right,
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 and palmistry and now numerology.
right,
Um, so this question used to come up is, what about prayers? Aren't prayers more powerful than numerology? What? How do you look at it?
right. So let me tell you that prayers is more related to spirituality.
Mhm.
Metaphysics such as numerology, astrology, tarot, etc., as I mentioned in my previous question, that they are based on certain rules and principles.
Okay.
Uh, so each, when implemented correctly, will manifest their benefits. The trick here lies in striking a fine balance between the two.
Yeah.
Right,
Nice, nice. Very interesting, Jesha. There
right,
are a few more questions I wanted to ask you because, this is a subject that really tickles people's minds. Um,
right,
काफी लोगों ने सुना है. You mentioned earlier about name changes, right?
right,
People add in an alphabet, and I've seen
true,
that happening so much with actors. I
right,
know one actor, she increased the alphabets,
right.
added another whatever, and then again decreased it. So
Okay,
I just wanted my personal, request is, can you just elaborate? Because we all want to do well in life. We
right,
all want something to help us apart from prayers and our hard work.
right,
Nobody, most of us, we believe in good luck.
right.
Does numerology connect itself to this kind of name changing? When you say name changing, is it that what I'm talking about? Adding alphabets? Is
Yes,
that part of
yes,
that?
that's one of the parts of what numerology can tell you. And as I
Hmm.
mentioned in one of your questions, see, when a person is born, there are two main aspects: his birth date and his birth name. Now, birth date, as I mentioned, you cannot change it. Birth name has certain alphabets. Now, depending upon the type or method of numerology you are using, each
Yeah.
alphabet is allotted certain numbers. When that alphabet is allotted certain numbers, it means that then the name of the person also gives out certain vibes. Now there are certain numbers to which we try and adjust and tweak the birth name in collaboration with the birth date, so that we can play on the good luck
Mhm.
factor and also exploit the good luck factor which numerology plays on positively. So that is how. And believe me, it works. It's about having faith in what the numerologist is saying, and about internal faith that yes, now my name has changed from XYZ to XYZZ. And once you have that faith, you can try implementing the recommendations in informal or casual cases, and I'm sure within 6 to 12 months you start seeing certain results, and then yourself you will feel like changing your name to in various other aspects. So yeah, it does
Great,
work.
great. I have to say to you, Jishad, that this interview, and to all the viewers,
Right,
remember that this is like, for me especially, and I'm sure for all of you, it's a food for thought. It's going to make us wonder.
right,
And but at the same time, because of you, Jishad, frankly, I have gotten more clearer and more deeper understanding of aspects which I've heard of.
right,
Sometimes we hear, हम
right,
सुनते हैं, उतना सोचते नहीं हैं. We only hear, and
right,
sometimes we don't get the clarity like what you're providing.
right.
Then we make our own assumptions,
True.
right? So I really want to thank you for that. But I want to ask you a tougher question.
Right,
Can I
sure.
ask you a tough question?
Yeah, yeah,
What
sure.
dif- what would differentiate you as a numerologist from the others?
So, what would differentiate me, as I mentioned, in this highly challenging scenario, with my skill sets and with my strengths and the kind of individual I am, I believe that a lot of numerologists do not use the art of counseling when it comes to numerology. They only say that okay, your numbers are saying this. These are the things. If you like, okay, you can follow these recommendations. If not, no. Now, someone who's coming to a numerologist is coming to him with certain aspects of his life which are challenging, or which he's facing problems. So, what I have learned over the past 1 year while dealing with clients is that there's a lot of counseling which also goes in from my end when I am giving the client certain recommendations.
Very
And of
nice, very
course,
interesting.
and of
Hmm.
course, those recommendations are based on numbers, but the counseling part has to be there, right?
I got that. I got that. I think
Right.
what you bring to the table or what you bring across is not just the mechanical aspects of numerology.
True,
It's
true.
it's about understanding the person,
Right,
having that communication.
right,
Well, you know what? Before I put in my final question, I want to ask you something about. I know that I mean viewers don't know, but you know that I do. I'm a motivational speaker for the last 20 years, but I also have been in the journey of writing books. So when I'm saying this, I'm actually putting a question to you.
sure.
Now, my book, Agori and Untold Story, is in the market. It's on Flipkart. And
Right.
now, do you think I should relook at adding the Agori with another thing, or do you think numerology can help? Because I have great aspirations for the book, and it's doing pretty well with the blessings. But putting this into the
Right,
perspective here, as a numerologist, now I may be an
right,
author speaking to you, and I'm speaking
right,
from the viewer's point of view. Somebody, like I said,
right,
is a business person, right? Somebody wants to set
right.
up a shop, maybe, right?
True,
Uh,
true.
for people like us, like you take my example.
Right.
So how do you look at me as an author? And if I say I want the sales to really pick up and I want the entire India to read my book, how would you look at it generally? I know it's an interview, but as
Right.
an example, how do you really analyze that?
So basically, it's not rocket science, Mayur. I need to take the name of your book and do the numerology calculations. As I said, there are certain parameters which have to be tick marked. If they are, and your name, the Agori, the Untold Story, is coming to certain numbers, even without me telling you, the book will do well. And if it's doing well, it's already on a certain number. I would say, which is helping, enabling it to doing well. If at all there are certain roadblocks, maybe we can check it up in future and see the name change analysis part, and maybe then the recommendations I can give you.
Sure.
Right.
So expect my call later.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, no problem.
But the reason I put this question to you, Jeshad, is because
Right,
I've always believed that when somebody shares something which is a technology or a philosophy or a science or this what you're talking about,
right, right,
it's wonderful to relate it with some sort of a case study or an example. So I thought I'll give you my own example of
right,
where I'm looking at, and
right.
maybe the viewers can relate, to that.
That's
But
right.
I really enjoyed listening to you. I learned a lot. Um,
Sure, my way.
what is finally, if a question I can put to you,
Yeah.
uh, what is it that you hope to achieve by practicing this particular art and science of numerology and spreading its popularity? What do you want to accomplish through that?
So my main objective in one or two lines of practicing numerology and spreading its popularity is basically to help clients live a better quality of life basis certain rational and practical solutions which I give through the science of numerology. So, so in case clients are interested in either learning numerology, or the viewers are interested in doing a reading, numerology reading, say which is the consulting part, I would be most happy to help. And I have certain portals where they can know more aspects of numerology, and those portals are my Facebook page and the YouTube channel, which is under the name JXM Numerology Consultation and Education. And I also write a blog which is jxmnumerology.wordpress.com. So any of the viewers interested in either doing a consultation or the education part, which is learning, I would be most happy to help.
In fact, that was my not a question, but it was a request that if
Right,
viewers want to uh, communicate with you, contact
right,
you, consult you,
right,
know more about you, know more about your thoughts,
right.
then they can look at a blog, right? They can read a blog, as
Yes,
you said.
yes.
Then what else? Can you just reiterate one is the blog?
Yes,
What
so
else?
basically they can read a blog which is with the domain name jxmnumerology.wordpress.com. And I also have my YouTube channel and Facebook page, which is under the brand name JXM Numerology Consultation and Education.
Perfect.
Right,
Perfect.
perfect.
Excellent. Jeshad, I'm not a numerologist, but
Right,
I am somebody who loves to interact with people. You know that. And
right,
it was a pleasure. It was really a pleasure to have, not just interacted, to have learned a lot from you.
right,
I've always felt that education is not, how much we know, it's how well we know. And
right,
I think that this particular interview has been surely for the viewers as well, a lot of
Right.
stuff that we've gone deeper into,
Right.
right?
Right.
Uh, so how would I conclude is, maybe, like I said, I'm not a numerologist, but I can say that Jeshad as such, Jeshad, Jeshad for me and for the viewers, I would like to describe you as J for joyful, E
Thank
for
you.
energetic,
Thank
S
you.
for spiritual,
Right.
H for helpful, because that's what you're doing by
Right.
helping people to develop their lives through your numerology.
Right.
A for adaptable,
Right.
because what you need to do is adapt to different situations of people and then give them the right solutions.
Right.
And D, which is very important, I believe, for your success, is determined.
Right.
So that's the Jeshad that I would like to conclude with. And I,
Thank.
on behalf of all the viewers, I want to say thank you very much for coming on here and sharing your thoughts, enlightening us. And personally, I want to wish you all the best. But one thing I've understood is numerology really is intense. It's got stuff which is really practical, scientific,
Right.
and I'm sure that people will definitely get something positive, if not much more,
Sure.
when they consult you. So on
Sure.
that note, I want to thank you, Jeshad, and I want to thank all the viewers for
Right.
watching this. Do connect with Jeshad, and all the best to all of you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much from my side.
Thank you, Mayur, for hosting me, and it was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you very much, Mayur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.